Another really cool thing to do inside of Aximmetry is the get transformation feature. And what that allows you to do, it allows you to take any object or objects that you've built in Unreal and move them inside of Aximmetry without going back and forth, without recooking your footage. You can even take these objects and animate them inside of Aximmetry. And it's super simple to set up. So let me show you how to set up the get transformation inside of Unreal to where you can move your objects inside of Aximmetry. And like I said, it's super, super simple. So here's a sample scene that I downloaded off the Unreal Engine Marketplace. This FJ Cruiser is something I put together in Blender. I'm a big fan of the FJ Cruisers. This is a box truck that I downloaded off the Unreal Engine Marketplace as well. Now let's say, for example, that we want to be able to position or animate this box truck inside of Aximmetry and to sort of match it up to where our talent will be inside of Aximmetry. So like I said, this is ridiculously easy how you set this up. So first thing you do is just sort of highlight the object that you want to move inside of Aximmetry. Make sure it's highlighted here. We're going to go to our level blueprint and we're going to find event tick. So we're going to add an event tick here. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to take this box truck and throw it inside of our blueprint. Once we have the box truck inside of our blueprint, what we're going to do is we're going to add a set world transform. So set world transformation. There it is. Set world transform. We're going to take our event tick, put it right there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add our get Aximmetry transformation. So we just add this to the new transform. I'm going to call this box truck for now so we can see this up in Aximmetry. And that is it. So we're going to compile. We're going to hit save. And obviously this tutorial is taking in consideration that you know how to add your Aximmetry camera. You know how to set up your project for export to Aximmetry. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cook our content. And like I said, the great thing about doing it this way is if we need to move this truck in our scene, you know, instead of jumping back and forth and recooking the content every time, you know, depending on how big your scene is, you'll be able to just move this object in Aximmetry without going back and forth. It's pretty sweet. Okay, we're done cooking. So now we're going to hit save. And now what we're going to do is we're going to open up Aximmetry. It's so much fun just diving into Aximmetry and playing around with all these tools. It's like anything is possible. Okay, so I've already got a project sort of started. I got our virtual cam up here. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our beach project that we just cooked, and we're going to add it to this compound. And if you look right down there, what do we have? We've got our box truck pin. So exciting. Okay, so we're going to take our camera transform pin, put it there, our field of view, connect that. We're going to add our cam focus distance pin, and we're going to take our out, put it into rendered, take our preview and take it right here. And if you look, I'll go full screen. There is our box truck. It just happens to be in the middle of our FJ Cruiser right now, but don't worry about that. We're going to fix that here in a second. So we're good to go. Looks like we've got our objects separated. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add a scene node. So we're going to type in scene, and there's scene node. We're going to move this down here, and you'll look right here. We've got something called world transform. So we're going to take the transformation of that, put it right into our box truck. Okay. Now, once we do that, we can go over here to our preview and select preview 1. And if you look down here at the bottom, we can move this stuff. Look at that without recooking. Shadows, highlights. I mean, look at that here. I'll go full screen. Is that cool or what? Okay. So the scene node is really good if you just want to position things, right? Position or, you know, scale or, you know, do whatever. But let's say, for example, that, you know, in the intro video that you saw, I had this truck actually moving. It was actually animated. And so how do you do that? Well, we're going to get rid of the scene node here. And so I'm going to delete that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a sequence node. What the sequence node allows you to do, it allows you to animate properties, which is pretty cool. So it basically sort of works the same way as positioning and everything. So let's go ahead and turn this down here, and you'll look, I've got a world transformation again, and I'm going to take that into the box truck. And if you look down here, I can still sort of move things, which is great. I'll go full screen. You see I'm moving this in real time. Okay, I'm going to go back to the desktop here. And so now we want to, we want to animate this. So we've got a sequence node set up. So what we have to do now is add a sequencer to the sequence node. So I'm going to go here. There's our sequencer. I'm going to take our tracks and I'm going to take that into the sequence position. And as soon as I do that and double click, you'll see here is our sequencer. If you're familiar with any kind of nonlinear editor, here's your timeline. If you look down here, here is our X, Y, and Z inputs that we can add keyframes to, which is really exciting. And the keyframes are such a joy, and it's so simple to add. So let me start off by what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our setup here. And so now I've clicked our sequence node, and you'll see I've got the little highlights here where I can sort of move things around. And you can either move them around here on screen, or you could go over here to transformation and move them here. Okay. So for now, I'm just going to take this right in front of the FJ, and I'm going to move it sort of out of the picture here. Okay. And I'm going to go back to my sequencer, and I'm going to turn on the little record icon here. So now it's going to record keyframes once we hit the little take icon here. So click that, and look, we've added keyframes. So really quickly, if I just wanted to show you, I'll go 15 frames in, and I will move this way. I'll add another keyframe, and look at that. When I move this, I'll go full screen. You'll see that it's animating. Isn't that sweet? Okay, so you go back to the desktop here. For now, I'm going to delete these keyframes. And so what I want to do is I sort of know basically where I want this box truck to start. We want it to sort of come into frame around 3 seconds. So I'm going to scroll down the timeline here to 3 seconds. If you look, here's the 3 second mark, and I'm going to hit keyframe. So there's our keyframe. I'm going to go ahead and go back to our beginning and just delete these. Okay. So our first keyframe really is going to be at 3 seconds. We want it to be out of frame in around 4. So I'm going to go here to 4 seconds, and I'm going to move this out of frame. Okay. And I'm going to add a keyframe. So now you'll see, and what I'm going to do, what's really cool is you can use your space bar to play your timeline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go full screen, and now I'm going to hit the space bar. It's going to sit for 3 seconds, and then zoom, it rolls by. Isn't that sweet? Okay, so we've got that going. So I'm going to go back to the desktop here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some footage. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add my B1 data, my B1 texture. And I'm going to go to my desktop here, and here's some footage we shot in our studio. And I'm going to throw this out to the end. And if you look down here, I'm going to go full screen. Here's our guy walking across the parking lot. He's reacting to nothing now. You'll see where he walks out of the cropping area here. But see, right now that's looping, right? So what we would like to do is we would like to start all these events at once. Okay, we've got our box truck now that we've got our get transformation on that we can move freely inside of Aximmetry without going back and forth. Now, isn't that cool? It's fun. And then we've got this footage of this person walking across the parking lot, reacting to this truck going past him. So we basically got our timing fixed out. We just want to start these all at the same time. So let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to go to our clip here. And the first thing I want to do is I am going to turn off the looping. So I'm going to turn off the looping here. And then I'm going to go to our restart trigger, and I'm going to assign that to our keyboard. So I'm going to assign that for now. We'll assign it to S on the keyboard. So now, whenever I hit S, you'll see the footage restarts at the top. Here, I'll go full screen. So I'm going to hit S, hitting S again, and it's restarting. Okay. So now we want to do the exact same thing to our sequencer. So if we look here, here's our sequencer. And if I scrub through here, there's our box truck moving by. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our flow in our sequencer. And if you look here and I click here, you'll see there's a restart here. So I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to assign a keyboard and I'm going to hit S. Now we're going to get a warning saying, hey, this S has, this key has been assigned to another trigger. Are you cool with that? Are you cool with, this one key assigning multiple triggers? Yes, we're just going to ignore it. So now when I hit S, you'll see our clip is starting and our truck just went through. Okay, I'm going to go full screen. Go full screen here. I'm going to hit S again. And, once you get things sort of timed out the way you want it, you can then, add camera movement, camera moves, all sorts of things. But I'm telling you, anything that you can imagine right now, you can pretty much do in Aximmetry. And it's really exciting times to be able to use all these tools. And I hope this tutorial will help you build some awesome stuff in the future. The possibilities are endless. Imagine taking that object, the FJ, for example, and putting it to this tracker. I just quickly did a quick thing. Here's the scene. And, I'm moving the puck tracker around. Anyway, it's pretty crazy the things that you can do with Aximmetry. And once again, like I said, I hope this tutorial will help you create some really, really amazing content down the road. And the possibilities are just